Hey guys, it's Block's Movie Reviews, back with another video. This is going to probably be a long one, since I'm going to be reviewing all three Back to the Future films. That's right, I'll be reviewing all three of them right here in this video. So, for this review, also, it is Back to the Future Day today, so I would like to say Happy Back to the Future Day to everyone who is watching this video. Now, let's start out with number one. So, Back to the Future Part 1 starts out Marty and Doc meeting for the first time, and Marty meeting at Twin Pines Mall at exactly 1:25 a.m. in the morning, and Doc shows him the DeLorean, and it is the time machine that he has to go back in time or forward in time. It's a really cool thing. I love how it's made out of a DeLorean, so futuristic for the time the movie came out. So I loved the time machine. So Doc gets shot by Libyans, and Marty is forced to go back in time to find Doc and to get him to try to build a way for him to get back into the future. So he runs into his dad and messing up the entire space-time continuum. Meanwhile, Lorraine is fascinated by Marty, and Marty's mom has an infatuation with. So they start getting erased from existence. So Marty tries to get Lorraine and George McFly together so that, meanwhile, Doc starts to make a prototype to get them home. He can go back to 1985. Meanwhile, George does not want to take Lorraine out. He's scared and everything like that. Marty tries to talk George into getting Lorraine to take the dance. They came to the dance. At the end of the film, Marty does go back in time after trying to get his parents together. The time trip was successful. Needed in order for him to get back to 1985, they needed to make sure the flux capacitor was working, and they also needed 1.21 gigawatts of electricity in order to make the time machine travel back. So it's a very great film. End of the film, Doc comes back from 2015 help because his kids are not doing so well. You'll find out in this next review of the part 2. So thank you for staying one of Back to the Future. And if you're still watching, stick around for part 2 because it's coming up next. Thank you for watching. And here is part 2. This is Back to the Future part 2 review. Exactly October 21st, 2023. I know that's not what the movie is set in. It's actually set in October 21st, 2015 at exactly 4:29. Okay, Doc goes back for Marty, year 2015, and they arrive there on the date that I just mentioned, October 21st, 2015. What they do is they go there, find out that Marty McFly Jr. committed a crime in Hill Valley. To stop Marty McFly from go to 2015 to get his son, McFly Jr., Griff's gang of thugs. Well, Griff gang of bandits, I guess. Whatever you want to say. In the process, they find out that he's been jailed. Meanwhile, Marty McFly grabs a book called Gray's Sports Almanac, and he finds out that he'll be able to know future events, like what's going to happen for the next 50 years. Okay? So, what happens is, he buys the book, everything is going well, until Doc finds out that he had the book. And Doc is all against the book. He doesn't want him to bring the book back. Meanwhile, the old Biff Tannen is listening in on their conversation. And what happens is that he brings the book back to 1955 and gives it to himself, pretty much. The 1955 version of Biff Tannen. That he's going to be rich because he has this book. And he becomes rich. He tours down the Hill Valley Courthouse, and he to his own pleasure paradise. It's not good. He is a ruthless billionaire. He doesn't like anybody but women. What happens is that Marty is asking Biff for the sports almanac, and Biff is refusing to give him the sports almanac because he knows how rich and popular his fame has become because of this almanac. So he is refusing to give up the almanac. So what they basically do is they find out he got the almanac in 1955 and he became rich in 1985. So they go back to 1955 to get the almanac back and burn it. So they go to 1955 and it's avoid having space-time continuum destroyed or altered. What happens is they actually succeed in their mission of getting the sports almanac back, burn it, and what happens is history, pretty much. Part 3 will describe of what happens after they burn the almanac and after Dr. Brown gets struck by lightning. But until then, thank you for watching part 2, and here is part 3. Hey guys, welcome back to part 3. This is part 3 of reviewing all 3 Back to the Future films. Takes place in the Old West in 1885. The DeLorean got struck by lightning in 1955, went to 1885. He gave Marty explicit instructions not to go back there to get him, but in the process, Marty finds out that Doc has been shot in the back by Buford Tannen over a matter of $80. He decides to go back to 1885 to bring Doc home to 1985. So it takes place in the Old West, and it's really, really cool. So what happens is that he arrives in the Old West, and there's Indians that chase the DeLorean down. In the process, he meets Buford Tannen, and he finds out that Buford Tannen is the one that shot Doc, but now he wants to do a duel between Marty or Clint Eastwood, a school teacher who meets with Doc and trying to get back into 1985. And what ends up happening is, and they get the DeLorean back up and running. They find out that the DeLorean does not have gasoline, note that it doesn't work, and they can't pull it, they can't tow it, but they figure out a way to push it up to 88 miles an hour. So what they do is they borrow the locomotive, I should say. They began pushing the DeLorean up to 88 with the locomotive. And here's an interesting fun fact about that. Did you actually know that Back to the Future Part 3, that ending scene with the train was actually filmed in a miniature scale? Here's a picture. This train was a miniature scale, like it was a model train that they filmed to make it look lifelike in the movie, because they couldn't crash a real train, so they made a model. I mean, it's kind of unbelievable, right? Push the DeLorean up to 88 miles an hour with the locomotive. Marty goes back to 1985 and destroys the time machine. Okay, like it literally destroys the time machine. What happens is that Doc returns to 1985 with this incredible futuristic train. It's called the Jules Verne train, and it is an incredible futuristic train. Probably my favorite train in the series, I'd say. And Marty meets Doc's family, and after he meets Doc's family, Doc wants to go back to the future or wherever timeline he goes. Train lifts up from the tracks, takes off. And if you already didn't know, the flux capacitor was on the front of that locomotive, if you didn't already know. That's another fun fact. So I hope you guys enjoyed my review of the Back to the Future complete trilogy. Happy Back to the Future Day, and remember, your future has not been written yet. No one's has. Your future is wherever you make it, so go make it a good one. Have a great day, everybody, and have a great Back to the Future Day.